Hi everyone, and welcome to Ask Alexa Therapy Facebook Live. Thank you so much for tuning in tonight. So excited to be here. Wanted to wish everyone such a happy Valentine's Day. Hope you're having a great day and hope you're having a great weekend, spending it with family and friends and loved ones. And thank you so much for always tuning in. I'm also going to be answering a question from a viewer today. Also, blended families with relationships and family dynamics, which can always be a tough one. So if anyone has any questions, you can always contact me at my website, askalexatherapy.com, and send us an email there or here on Facebook Live. Hi, Brian and Rob. Thanks for joining us. Always send us an email at alexas29@AOL or send a message right here on Facebook Live or also on the Facebook page, Ask Alexa Therapy. Please follow us on Facebook and also on Instagram at Ask Alexa Therapy. And also check out the Alexa Show on YouTube on my channel, Ask Alexa Therapy. We have some great guests coming up for March. So exciting. So if anybody has any topics or questions or any ideas you'd like for me to cover during Facebook Live or for the Alexa Show, please send in any questions or any ideas. I'd love to hear from it. Hi, Jose. So nice to see you. And Regina, thank you. So I wanted to start with my first question from a viewer named Lynn. She said, "Dear Ask Alexa Therapy, I have been with my boyfriend for almost 9 months now. He has 2 children, 2 daughters, 10 and 14, and I have not met them yet. I'm going to meet them within the next week or so, and I'm feeling very nervous. I've already been told that she has told her mother and also my boyfriend that they're not excited to see me or to meet me. What can I do, and can this be salvaged, or is this going to be a disaster?" Well, this is such a great question because I believe it happens so many times, and it's hard, as we say, with blended families. It's hard when a new person comes in for either the woman or for the man and comes in as the new significant other. Because so many times children, they're tough at times, especially 10 years old and 14 years old. Those are some tough ages, especially that teenage years where they really don't want to be around anybody and everything always pisses them off. I work with a lot of teenagers and adolescents, and definitely they can be moody. So one, I think going in knowing that some of this is typical teenage behavior, to be able to say, okay, it's not always personal. And I think also saying, what can you do for you to feel comfortable? They might give you a hard time. They might, want to take a time to really get to know you, but also to know that how you feel about yourself and feel empowered, and make sure you have boundaries with them. And I think if they do become inappropriate at any time, you can also speak to your boyfriend if he would like to step in, or ask, can I say something to them? Like, please don't speak to me like that. Or what type of questions or interests do they have? Because I think so many times too is maybe planning something that's interactive when you first meet them. And I know with the pandemic things might be more restricted, but I think look at something, maybe a painting class, maybe walking through an outdoor art museum or indoor art museum if they're open in your area, going to maybe something sports, because that can always work too. Because I find even though they might feel uncomfortable or judgmental towards you, because I know so many times children feel like, you're not going to replace my parents, you're not going to replace my mom, you're not going to replace my dad. So I think it's important to be able to relate to them while you're actually doing something creative, something very active, something physical, or something more with the mind, maybe, with painting or crossword puzzles, just so that interaction at first might be awkward, but while you work together with someone, I find you become a team. They learn to see things in you, and you learn to see things in them, that you have to count on each other. And it might be just trivia or a painting class, but they can be asking you questions. They could ask for your assistance, but you can also be the adults, which I think is so important. So no, it's not going to be a disaster. It's not going to be a wash. It can be tough. I've had a lot of clients where the first couple of meetings can be tough, and sometimes the first couple of months can be tough, and for the first couple of years. But I think it's also sitting down with your boyfriend and setting some boundaries and really being on the same team together, and what is the plan, and for you two to be a team. And I think also for the children to know they still have time alone with dad. Because a lot of the children that I do work with, sometimes one of their biggest complaints about the significant other, the new person that's coming into the picture, is I don't have alone time with my dad anymore. She's always there. She's always kind of tagging along. And even if they really do get along with you well, it's important to allow the child to also, even if it's a teenager, even if it's in their 19s, 20s, I think it's very important to make sure that child, even an adult child, has that alone special time with their parents. Especially it sounds like your boyfriend does not have full custody. So you have to also understand this time coming to see dad is really important to them. This means a lot. They might have not been able to express to him all week about what they're doing, good things they want to tell him, problems they might be having, concerns, issues. So I think it's important to make sure they know that you respect their space and their time alone with dad, and they also need to respect your time with dad, but also your time as a family together. And it doesn't mean you're replacing anybody, but to know, listen, this is going to be moving forward how I would like this to be. And I think, it can be very tough, but a lot of times the children are more anxious about the anticipation of the meeting than you are. And I think so many times adults give children or adolescents too much power. You have to remember, they're still children. They're still new, and they can kind of call the shots. I think you let them sort of exercise their power here and there. Let them feel like they have a voice. But you also have to feel empowered that you have a voice too. And that you don't have to prove anything to them. It's going to be a learning process. It's going to take time for them to get to know you, but also for you to know them and know that you're all on the same page. That yes, you all love that same person. Hi Todd, thank you so much for calling, for coming in, and Deborah and Apple, for everybody that's tuning in. So as I was saying, it's important that they understand that you're all on the same page. You love their father. You all want to be together. You're not going to take dad away from them. And I know that sounds, as an adult, why would they think that? I would never, they should know that. They don't. Children don't know that. And it's so frightening for them, especially if they don't see the other parent, dad, that much or every other weekend. They really want to make sure they have that quality time. They really want to make sure they still have that connection with dad and dad doesn't move on. And so many times with the children that I work, hi Terry, thanks for tuning in. A lot of times the children feel like, I feel like this person is closer to my dad. I feel like I don't fit into the picture. Let the children know that they're always number one. And I know so many times the adults that I work with, sometimes they get a little bit jealous of the relationship that the parent has with the child. I get that, but you have to understand, these are their children. You have to respect it. But they don't get to call the shots and mistreat you or not acknowledge you. But you have to understand that this is their dad. They really need that special time. They need to know he's not going anywhere, and they need to know that he's a strong relationship for them and that you are there backing that relationship and you want him in their lives, but you also want to be part of their lives. Because I think that's so, so important, where they know, okay, this woman doesn't want to take my dad from me. This woman doesn't want to separate us. This woman isn't going to talk bad about my mom. And I think, sometimes the children might say, well, mom said this about you. Mom will say that. And I know, I get it. It's very upsetting to hear that. It's pushing your buttons. You can feel triggered. But remember, these are teenagers. They're trying to play a game a little bit. Yes, you can talk to dad about it, but I would talk to dad about it when the children aren't around. And I think maybe a response would be, I'm so sorry your mom feels that way. I've never met her, but she sounds like a lovely lady. And I know a lot of times that's easier said than done. But just make sure you prepare yourself for this first meeting to be yourself, to enjoy them, to listen, and to just be there and let them know who you are, but also learn to know who they are. So I hope I answered this question. If you have any other questions, please email me back or send a message to askalexatherapy.com. And everyone, thank you so much. Oh, it's so great to see everybody, and thank you so much for joining us. And if anybody has any questions, hi Kathy, nice to see you. I'll be on for another minute or two. So if someone has a question you'd like me to answer right now, I'd be more than happy to. Also, all names can remain anonymous. If you do not want me to say your name, if you send me an email or a message, please let me know and information. So there'll be no, I will definitely answer your questions. To be here on Ask Alexa Therapy, I can't believe it's been how many weeks now that I've been doing this. And I wanted to thank everybody so much for all of their support. Please keep tuning in. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel, Ask Alexa Therapy. Follow us on Instagram and follow us here on Facebook. Everyone, thank you so much for always tuning in. Thank you for your support. Please keep all these wonderful, wonderful questions coming in. Everyone, have a wonderful, wonderful night. I'm going to be tuning out. And I just wanted to say have a great Valentine's Day. Have a wonderful weekend. And I'll see you next Sunday at 6 o'clock. Have a good night and God bless.